Welcome to Kruse Training and Molding Expert. My name is Kruse. I would like to guide you through this demo of our virtual reality app. This is our molding room. The goal for the molding room is to add machines, peripheral devices, to make it a real molding room that is actually working with all machines running to show and demonstrate how molding actually works. Let's step into the molding facility through the lobby and the learning center into our injection molding machine lab. Passing by, yes, the trophies, because we are tracking the progress of your learning. This is our injection molding machine lab. Here we have an actual molding machine that is interactive. And what I mean with interactive, you actually can start this machine by following 4 steps. Let me guide you through the setup though of those 4 steps. They are explained on this board. We have to fill the hopper, we have to move the hopper over, we have to close the safety gates, and yes, we have to start the machine by pressing start on the button. Let's fill the hopper.
Great. Now release the handle and slide the hopper over the cylinder throat.
Close the lid, open up the lock, push the hopper over, and we will be ready to go.
Good job. The material hopper is now in place.
Moving to the back side of the machine, let's close the rear molding machine safety gate. That's
Move to the other side of the machine and walk over to the control panel.
Well, the control panel tells us there's still 1 gate not closed. Well, let's close it.
Great! You have completed all the preparations. The machine has started.
Alright, so we have been able to fulfill all the 4 steps, fill the hopper, close the safety gates, push the start button, and the machine is running. The goal for the injection molding lab is to add molds to this molding machine and in the future being able to actually process the mold. The next step is let's take a look at our workshop, because every facility needs a workshop. The workshop has hand tools and the mold storage rack with all of the molds that we actually add to our virtual reality. These molds are real. These are actual CAD step files we used from friends in the industry. Let's step into our capabilities on the mold design review. This is our Explore mold. In the Explore mold, we can open up this mold in all different steps and open up all components so you can explore the mold in detail. Every step has audio instructions as well. For example, in this first step, what's an A side, what's the B side? And we can open up this mold, as I mentioned, in all different steps to see all the components. We can grab, handle every component of this mold, showing it as a true steel interpretation as well as in an X-ray mold. Yep, that's the vial, that's the actual part. Let's take a look at the big plate. This is the core plate that we can see the water running through the core plate. That's the Explore mold. Now we are in the animation mode. In the animation mold, the goal here is to show how does this mold really work. What are the individual steps in the molding cycle, from mold close, inject, packing, screw rotation, mold open, ejecting the part forward and backward. So we can take a look at it. On the builds on the screen, you can tell in which step you are during the animation. Screw rotation back, check ring moves and closed. Now the mold opens, ejector forward, parts get ejected, ejector backwards, and the cycle can start again. So mold close, we can actually see the water lines within the animation. So the student or the engineer can see, this is how the water is routed, that's how it flows. Injecting the material, the screw actually moves forward. The animation shows how the material is filling the cavity. The next step is packing, and we can see the screw is just moving very slightly forward during the packing phase. Screw rotation, if we hit that button, then the screw will rotate and dose the next shot of material forward. And let's take a complete cycle. Mold is closing, material is injected, now we are packing. Mold is opening, part is ejected. You can see nicely how the slides are moving. And here we are in the new assembly and disassembly of our mold design review app. We have this actual vial mold now we can take apart. So we show you several steps in how to assemble and disassemble this mold. Here we see, this is the assembly. So we can take core and cavity and actually move it and take it and place it into the core plate. And remember, this is not only an animation or movie. This is an actual app, so you can walk through, and we will have these VR glasses on hand for you to try it. Now the center locks need to be placed on the table first, both of them, because we need to install the dowel pins. In the assembly, we have a step-by-step guide that is shown on the monitors. So you will be guided through the assembly and disassembly with audio and visual guides. Then, when we have the dowel pins placed in, we can actually place the center locks and the tool, and the next step can be adjusted. Yeah, even little screws we can put in. When you see they lighting up orange in the box, we can grab them and put them into the locations. We take the Allen wrench and point to the screw turns red, and then we push a trigger, and we actually use the Allen wrench then to tighten these individual screws. Again, put the center lock in. We can also put the outside locks in. We can change hand while we do that. And here we are assembling the inserts, cavity inserts with the cavity sub-inserts. Of course, before we did assemble the O-rings to the sub-inserts because water is running through, remember? And now we take the cavity inserts and place them into the mold. one by one. You can see nicely the black water seals. Yep, don't forget them. We need a couple more. And 4 more. We have to make sure we place them into the tool correctly so the water runs through, but these inserts are keyed, so there should be no problem to add them to the mold plates. And yes, now we're done. All 4 check marks are seen on the screen. Now I can move on to the next step. And here's another example how we use tools. We can place these jiffies on outside of the mold. Then we use the ratchet to tighten them. Yep, cycle counter, don't forget that one. It's shown as a hologram, and then you place the cycle counter right over it and it installs on its own. Yep, core inserts need to go into the core plate as well. So let's grab them and place them in the right position so we can add them to the tool. And please remember, this is all to get educated how a mold is assembled, disassembled in all its pieces. Cam pins, yes, we need to add them too. Let's grab a few and put them in place. Yep, there are a bunch of them. And the backup plate needs to be tightened down. The screws will be added to the system. And then we take the Allen wrench and tighten them. In the assembly mode, every container around you has components in it, and this is how we basically place them before we start the assembly. That's the first step. Now let's move on to disassembly, and we just show you a few steps of how this could work as well. We take the plate, the ejector plate back up and put it on the side. Now we take the container where the helical bubblers will be placed into. We grab the box, go back to the mold, and yes, we place them all into the box, and the box needs to be returned to its original location. So we are ready for assembly again, because disassembly and assembly is the reverse step. So we have to make sure we put the box back where it belongs so we can do the next step. The tool with the blue handle is highlighted. Let's unscrew these jiffies. And again, you hold the tool close, you pull the trigger on the controller, and then you can unscrew them and take them out of the location, put them in the box. When you take the cores out, you again can take them out, and this time you have to place them on the workbench, because this is where we place them. We didn't place them in a container, we placed them on the workbench, so we have access to them when we assemble the mold again. Turns red, we pull the trigger, we can pull out the insert and place it on the workbench. Wonderful. What's next? Let's unscrew the backup plate. So again, we take the Allen wrench into the right hand. We go move the Allen wrench close to the screw. It turns red. We pull the trigger, and then the screw can be disassembled. And again, every step is important, so we can actually step you through with audio guidance, with descriptions on the monitors. We have 2 monitors hanging in the molding in the mold design review room. Right there, you get guided what to do, when to do, and how to do it. Well, let's take the O-rings off too, because every one of these cavity sub-inserts has 2 O-rings, because the water runs right in between those O-rings, so we can take them off the cavity sub-insert one by one. These are the top O-rings. Now let's focus on the bottom O-rings, and as you can tell, they all go into a separate box. This box needs to be placed again on the wall to clean up the workspace, to make sure that we ready for assembly later on again. Yeah, so we have a very clean shop here. Everything is put in boxes. Everything needs to be back into the box when we go through our disassembly. This is disassembly step number 2. Again, we have to pull out an Allen wrench and get these shoulder bolts out. And we get with the Allen wrench close, you see the screw turning red. Then we pull the trigger on the controller and we unwind the screw. Then we can put the Allen wrench back where it belongs. Again, cleanliness in the room. We take the shoulder bolts out, place them on the table, and now we have to disassemble it. Take these 2 boxes we need to disassemble this system and place the correct items in the correct box, because it turns green. You see the bottom turns green. That's where it's supposed to go, and the screws of course go into the different container. The bottom of the container turns green, and that's where you know where to place them. You take these 2 boxes, and yes, we have to put them back on the wall. I hope you enjoyed this little demo of our virtual reality app. We have a lot more coming in the year 2026 and 2027. Our goals are to actually create a molding machine which you can process. We will add new molds to the system, and we hope you enjoyed this little demo. Make sure you try on these glasses, because you'll be in for a ride. Thank you again, Torsten Kruse, Kruse Analysis, molding expert. Don't forget to sign up for LinkedIn. That's where we have our news.